So today I'm not going to be straightening my hair. I'm just going to be detangling it and twisting it up. And I also wanted to talk to y'all about something kind of serious. So I'm going to try and keep my cursing to a minimum because I want this to be friendly for all of my little sisters. Like, if a little sister who's pretty young comes across it, I want to just still be able to say something informative because y'all know I have a potty mouth, but I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum, okay? So today I wanted to talk about valuing your body, and very specifically when it comes to sex. And this is a conversation I know that a lot of us girls don't really have with our parents, but we should, even though it's kind of weird. But don't worry, if you don't have it with your parents, your big sister got you, girl. Let me just say, sex is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. And you're probably curious about it because somewhere in your soul you know that it's a beautiful thing. It's meant to be a shared experience that you share with someone, or maybe if that's your thing, many people that you love and care about. That you love and care about. This is important because your body should be something that you love and care about. And giving somebody a piece of you is an act of love. And a lot of the times we know that. And sometimes when we have not really been taught what real love is, we think that giving people something shows them that we love them. Giving people our trust, giving people, something that we have, giving people a piece of our body. However, love really is something that we give freely but mindfully. Not everybody should receive the same form of love. So I love most people in the world. I love all of you, but I would not trust you with my bank account numbers. I'm just saying. But there are different levels of love. So if I got to know somebody very well and I knew that they had really good intentions with their finances, they were good people, they were people of integrity and morality, and they were my financial advisor and they worked my books, then I would give that person my bank account numbers. Or let's say I gave my friend a pencil. I give my friend a pencil every single day, and I say, yeah, but can you just give it back to me? Because I'm running low on pencils. And then they constantly take my pencils, but they never give it back to me because they don't value those pencils in the same way that I value my pencils. They don't even care enough to show up and bring a pencil, but I need a pencil, and if I'm constantly giving that person my pencil, knowing that they don't value pencils in the same way that I value pencils, I'm going to feel like they don't value what I'm giving to them, that my pencils are not valuable to that person. Do you pick up what I'm putting down? Your body, okay? Your love. And we're specifically going to be talking about body, but take this into many aspects because even your love is an extension. Some people don't deserve such great amounts of love that you may be willing to give to them. Love is given freely, but there are certain levels, and to unlock those certain levels, yes, people have to deserve them, earn them, and show that they qualify to reach those levels. So something that I heard growing up was, guys, they're gonna tell you that, if you loved me, you would do this, you would take it there. And I was like, okay, whatever. And you know what? I said, okay, whatever, but it's actually true. And the thing is, excuse me, I waited to feel like I loved a guy to give him that piece of me. And besides, I was like super curious. Like, I'm sex positive. I was really curious about experiencing what that felt like. And so I met a guy that I liked that liked me, and he told me sweet things, and he was kind, and I was curious, and so I was like, I'm down. I'm down. I wanted to do it anyways. And so I did it. But where's that person now? You know? Where are they? I don't know where they are. I didn't love that person. I was in a relationship with that person. Just because you're in a relationship with somebody doesn't mean that you love them. Just because you've been around somebody doesn't mean that you really know them. And I'm talking about like even up to like a year. Just because you've been in a relationship with somebody for a year doesn't mean that you necessarily know that person. And I'm not saying this to create like fear inside of you or make you feel like you shouldn't be having sex with people or make you feel like sex is a bad thing. And that's exactly why I'm having this conversation, because sex is not a bad thing. Sex is a beautiful thing, and sex isn't something that we should be afraid to talk about. It is something that we should talk about, not because it means nothing, which it feels like the spaces where people are freely talking about sex, they talk about it in such a way where they are sex positive, but they are not sex exclusive. And I want to be a little voice in the community to be sex positive but also sex exclusive. Sex is a beautiful thing, and you know, there are many different ways that we can have sex with people. We can have sex in a monogamous relationship, we can have sex in a poly relationship, polyamorous, polygamous, whatever you're into. And all of those things can be beautiful. They really can be. But I do believe that it is really important to be mindful of your sacred temple. Sex is not just, your body is not just the energy that you share with people. The space and the way that you share with people is not something that should be done lackadaisically. And there's this belief that people hold on to that the less boundaries you have with someone equals the more that you love them. But actually, the more boundaries that you have set in place is a reminder. Now, I don't even want to say the more boundaries. The more intentional you are with your boundaries is a greater show of love. A lack of boundaries is not a form of love. And I really, really want to specifically touch on that because, like, with that same point, people say, well, if you love me, you would do this. Loving somebody is not exclusive to breaking your boundaries with somebody. You'll hear people say, oh, no, well, if they love you, they will wait. You have to know the whys behind everything, the why. And I feel like if you want to explore, and because this was my mindset, right? I was like, I want to explore. I just want to experience what it feels like. I don't mind. I don't care. Then, okay, that's what you want to do. I want to remind you to be safe and to respect your body. Like, don't allow your curiosity to break down boundaries that you have with yourself. And so this is when it's more important to, if you start getting those feelings of like, I'm curious, I want to see what it feels like, I wonder what it's like, that's normal and that's okay. You're not a bad girl for wanting to experience those things. You're not a bad person for having those thoughts. Maybe there's guys watching this, you're not a bad boy. You know, you're not a bad person for having those thoughts and to wanting to experience those things. But when those thoughts come up and those desires come up, it's your mind and possibly even in some cases your spirit telling you that you want to expand in a new way. And there's nothing wrong with expanding in that way. However, when you have those thoughts coming in, sometimes it's easy to get wrapped inside of them. And when you experience a desire for something new, you want to take a step back and really ask yourself, okay, I want to experience this thing, but what are some other things that are important to me, so that you can set boundaries and parameters with yourself so that you're not completely swept up in that moment if it does happen. Because sometimes we get caught up by the idea of something that we allow ourselves to just break down certain boundaries because we're so excited about being able to go into it. And so, if you start having those thoughts and you want to go do stuff like that, ask yourself maybe a few questions like, what are some boundaries that I have? Talks about safe sex. And when people talk about having STDs or getting pregnant or getting someone else pregnant, this is not moments that is used to create scare tactics. It shouldn't be, right? You might hear a lot of people say, oh, you're gonna get pregnant, you're gonna get an STD, as a way to scare you. But to me, I don't want it to be something to scare you. I want it to be something to remind you of, okay? So every action is going to have a reaction. Every choice that we make is going to come with consequences. Consequences does not necessarily mean that something is negative. It means that it's something that's going to happen. So it could be negative or it could be positive. So what consequences are going to come with what consequence is going to come with the action that you make or the choice that you make? That's the question that you want to ask yourself. And I need to redo this because it didn't come out even. So that's the question that you want to ask yourself, because I believe that we should all do whatever we want to do. We can all do whatever we want to do, but we dang sure better be ready to accept the consequences. Okay, so the best thing that if you want to do whatever you want to do, fine, do what you want to do. But I'm here to tell you exactly what could happen, what's going to happen, and what you're going to have to deal with after that. So there is a possibility that you could get pregnant. There's a possibility that you could get someone else pregnant. There's so many STDs in the world. And a lot of them are treated the same way. Some of them, even some of the most fatal STDs that have existed, like AIDS, which starts as HIV, or even like herpes. In our healthcare system, we have made so many advances to where they are preventable, they are treatable, but we cannot be still in this mindset of where we don't talk about exactly what it is and being prepared. Like, so many people are suffering even still from these treatable and preventable STDs because a lot of people don't want to get tested. A lot of people don't want to think about their consequences. You don't want to be like those people. I'm not moisturizing my hair because I already have like so much moisture in here. Safe sex is important. There is a slight difference from wearing a condom versus not wearing a condom, but there is a large consequence difference. When you wear a condom, you drastically reduce your possibilities of getting pregnant, of getting STDs, STIs, yeast infections, because there's a barrier between one person's organ and another person's organ. And just because something is treatable doesn't mean that it's not a headache and doesn't mean that it's not going to cause you pain. Okay, so talking about the consequences, and yes, they are treatable. Also, let's talk about the mental and emotional consequences of these STDs. And again, this is not to scare you. This is about really giving you the facts. the mental and emotional consequences that come with it, you might feel nasty. You might feel dirty. You might start to feel like, oh, you have this thing, well, your body doesn't matter anymore. It can feel like you've done something wrong. If you're not prepared with that, it can feel like you trusting somebody, you giving your love to somebody was a mistake. You're not wrong for loving somebody, and the solution would not be to take away love and to never give love to anybody again. That's why I say, like, I really want to say, like, it's not about, like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I tried to give my love to somebody, I'm never gonna love anybody again, I'm never gonna have sex again. It's more like, I like to say, the solution is not to give less love. The solution is to give more love. Not to those people who betrayed you, but to yourself. Don't remove yourself from experiencing a world of beautifulness because there were people implanted in there who dropped hatred, okay? And this is more than just when it comes to like sex and love. Like, even if you get into a relation, like just a regular relationship with somebody, or let's just say like, you know, just anybody, any type of relationship, not just like boyfriend, girlfriend, any type of relationship. If those people treat you nasty, I know some of us, like, we grow up with parents, like myself, we grew up with parents who showed us a false sense of love. They didn't really love us or care about us. And so sometimes it feels like the world is not safe. Our own parents weren't safe, so of course the world isn't safe. So we want to close off our hearts. But the solution is not to close our hearts. The solution is not to say, well, I tried to love my parents and all they did was hurt me, so I'm not gonna love anybody. Or I tried to get in relationships, but every relationship after relationship, they did this and they did that, so I'm not gonna love anybody. Or I tried to have friends, but they always betrayed me and tried to sleep with my friends, so I'm not gonna have no friends. The solution is not to close our hearts off. The solution is to expand our hearts. And it seems counterintuitive because when you're afraid, you might retreat, you might get smaller. But when you get larger, when you get bigger, you're like the sun, right? It's not about getting small and cold and isolating yourself and distancing yourself from everybody. You have something in your heart that tells you want to be around people, you want to trust, you want to experience love for a reason, and you have to listen to that. You can't disappear from that feeling that's in your heart because of something that other people did, but take those lessons with you, okay? And now you have to be able to exist in both of those realms. There are people in this world, this is what you know now, right? I know now that there are people in this world who, despite me just wanting to love them and care about them, will try to hurt me, betray me, backstab, and lie to me. And I also know that I'm supposed to experience love. I'm supposed to be in loving connections and commitments with people. I'm supposed to have this open heart. How can I do both of those things? Expand more so that you can experience everything that you wanted. Because when you close off, you're giving people what they wanted from you. For you to be afraid, for you to be scared, for you to feel like you're wrong or you're stupid for loving people. When you expand, you show people that you were right, and now they just have to exist outside of this huge realm of love that you created for yourself. What do I mean by expand? I mean expand and love yourself more. The solution is not less love or taking away things from yourself or out of your heart so that you're not loving. The solution is to learn to love yourself more.
I just want to clarify that I'm not at all saying, oh, you need to learn to love yourself more, or you didn't love yourself and that's why all this happened to you. I'm saying when you experience opposition against what you desire, learn to deny it. Lean more into your desires, not to deny that it exists, but to deny that it is all that exists.
To be more expansive in the way that you love yourself, to experience a new form of love with yourself and with others. Let's do lint. Check. Y'all see it? Y'all see how my hair been growing? It's not about scaring you into inaction or creating this weird obsession with purity or never having sex. It's about reminding you of the value of the thing that you're choosing to share. It really is a gift, and it really is. It really is a gift that you give to somebody. Your body, your energy, your time. I mean, even having a conversation with someone is a gift. Never forget that. Your energy is sacred. Smiling at someone is a gift. Talking to someone is a gift. These are things that we choose to give to people. Kindness, that's something that we choose to give to people. Those are gifts that we give to people. And do you just randomly give gifts to just anybody? Do you? Do you? No. You can, but you don't have to. It's a choice. Love is a choice, and it's really important to identify love as a choice, because it reminds us that that thing that we're giving out is ours. It's not something that we owe to anybody. And vice versa. When people show us love, kindness, we remember it, we see it, we are able to acknowledge it as not something that they owe us, but as a gift. And so we become more appreciative of those moments when someone holds the door for us, when someone smiles at us, when someone waves and says, "Hey, I like your hair." People are not obligated to give us anything. We are not obligated to give anyone anything. And so seeing those actions as choices, the actions that we make, the actions that other people make as choices, we become more appreciative, we become more aware of the gifts that we are. That is important. If anything is a gift, imagine giving somebody sacred access to your body through an act of love, where they have the potential to literally, and I'm not saying this out of fear, I'm saying this out of a reminder of consequence, of choice, and reaction. They have the ability, through this gift that we are giving to them, alter our entire life. Because this is not just a gift of, oh, I can say hey to somebody, but that doesn't mean that, that's, so what? But giving somebody access to us in such an intimate way, it just really is important to be mindful. It really is important to be mindful in this time. In all times, honestly, but especially now because of the state of the world. So, yeah, thankfully we also live in a time, if you don't know and if you are afraid, maybe you just had intercourse, which is another word for sex if you don't know, with somebody, and you're afraid of like pregnancy or STDs or anything like that. I live in a city where I have access to free STD tests, free pregnancy tests, and even free, there's this shot where if you have unprotected sex with somebody and you're afraid that you might have been exposed to HIV, yes, HIV, you can take the shot. And when you take the shot, it drastically lowers helps prevent it after you've been exposed. So there's this thing called PrEP, which you take before, so you can lower your risk of exposure. But if you don't take PrEP and you're afraid that you've been exposed, then you could go in, I think it's a shot, it might be a pill, I might be misspeaking. I've never personally taken it, but I've been to the clinics before, and they told me about it, and it's just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So every time you have a new partner, y'all should be going to get tested together. It really is important. It really is important. And it's not about, oh, you're nasty or something like that. It's really just about, like, hey, I value my health and you value your health. We value each other's health. We care about each other. And so we're going to go get tested together for ourselves. And just because you get tested with somebody doesn't mean that y'all should be having unprotected sex. Just because you get tested with somebody doesn't mean that it's impossible that maybe they're unfaithful. And I say that, and I don't mean to say that to sound like I'm trying to implant doubt or anything like that. I'm just saying it to remind you that your love is sacred, and it's okay to take your time. It's okay to take your time and say, hey, I love you, and I know that we've decided to take this next step in our relationship where we're going to start having sex, but I'm not willing to have unprotected sex. I'm not willing to have a baby. I'm not willing to open myself up to the risk that potentially you're hiding something. And I don't know how to say that. I honestly don't know how to say that without feeling like I'm saying I don't trust somebody, but that's a part of the shame that I'm talking about. We feel shame when it comes to implementing certain boundaries. Like, it shouldn't be a knock against somebody else that we choose to protect ourselves. It should just be something that we're doing for ourselves. And so it feels like that. It seems like that. It comes off like that, but it's not that. This isn't about you. This is about me. This is about me making sure that all my bases are covered regardless of what you choose to do. And so thank you for showing me love. Thank you for showing me care. But that's just not something that I'm willing to expose myself to. That's not a risk that I'm willing to take regardless of who it is. To this day, I'm still going to choose to protect myself. I'm still going to choose to take my livelihood into my own hands. You really are worth valuing yourself. You really are worth being exclusive. You're top of the line. You really are. Not everybody can get top of the line. Ask yourself what somebody would have to do to deserve something like that. You know, really think about it. Like, what does somebody have to do to deserve to have access to me in such a way where they can alter my entire life? Do they just have to come into my life and I know them for 6 months and, you know, we've been on some dates and I like them and, you know, I met this person three months ago, 2 weeks ago, and now I'm just going to give them access to alter my entire life. Really think about it. Think about the consequences that you have to experience because you choose to engage with someone, and ask yourself if they're worth it. It's okay. It's okay to say, no, that person's not worth all of these things in my life, because they have not shown up for you in the way that you are going to show up for you for the rest of your life. They have not shown up for you in the way that you've shown up for you for your entire life up to this point. And I don't care if you feel like, oh, I don't really care about myself. I don't do much for myself. Nobody shows me love and I don't show myself love. So I'd rather just settle for anything. I don't care about none of that. You may physically be in this world thinking that you don't care about yourself, but there is an entire biological process within your body that literally shows up for you every single day, caring about you. And guess who's the head honcho of all of that? You are. Your body didn't choose to shut down today. Your body didn't choose to stop working today. Your heart didn't choose to stop beating today. Your lungs didn't choose to stop breathing today. Your legs didn't choose to stop walking today. Your mouth didn't choose to stop talking today. Your brain didn't choose to just shut off today. And even on those days when your heart feels like it can't beat, your mouth has no words to speak, and your brain doesn't want to think, your blood is still pumping through your veins. Your lungs are still pumping out air so that if you wanted to, you could. Your neurons are still firing so that if you wanted to, you could think of a better reality. Because your body is always opening the doors for you to choose better. Even when you in this physical world show up and you feel so tired that you don't want to, or you just feel like you can't, those doors are still open for you. God is still caring about you. Spirit, the universe is still caring about you. Still choosing to give you an opportunity for something better. And right now, you have you. And you're looking down this path, and maybe you feel like you're not worth it. But there is a version of you, and the proof is that you're watching this video. Because I'm going to title this video something that if you click on this video, it's going to be an active choice, an active commitment that you make. That will be the proof. It's in the micro choices that we make that tell us exactly who we are. It's not always in the big choices or the big pivoting moments. It's in the little choices that we made to get to that point. It was the swing of the body, not the run afterwards. It was that pivot. Those micro choices, okay, that really show exactly who we are, that really add up to that big eruption. Everybody thinks it's the eruption. No, it's been bubbling under the surface for a long time. This is one of the choices. Watching videos like this, consuming content like this, making small little choices, and you could say it all day, I don't really care about this or whatever, but you're trying, and this is the proof. Even if you feel like you're not there today, there's a version of you that is. Make choices for that version of you that is. You might feel like you don't deserve it. You might feel like you're willing to take just anything. You might feel like, I don't care. I don't care. I'll go ahead and let that person come with me. I'll sleep with this person because feeling something during a one-night stand, or, just having somebody to call my boyfriend feels better than having nobody. Even if they're cheating on me, even if they don't make me feel good, even if I barely know them, even if we have nothing in common, it feels at least kind of good. Don't make decisions for the person that's today. You gotta look forward to the person that is tomorrow, because she's betting on you, because he's betting on you. Now, you don't need to have a girlfriend who isn't trying to push herself into the direction that you're trying to go into. You don't need to have a girlfriend that doesn't actually care about you or your mental health and she's not asking you how you're doing. Don't make decisions based on the you that is today. Make decisions that is based on the you that is tomorrow because they're betting on you. And they are betting on you to not bring baggage. Extra baggage into tomorrow. Baggage that the you today didn't even want to deal with, right? Because when you really get down to the nitty-gritty of it, you'll learn, right? You might think that you're making decisions based on the you that is today, but you're actually making decisions based on a you that doesn't even exist. You say you want love. You say you want to experience with somebody. I know this person doesn't actually care about me, but you're not getting what you want. You're not getting love. Physical affection and physical connection is not the same thing as love. Giving up something, giving up pieces of your body to somebody isn't a sign of intimacy or closeness. That is the fruit that comes from intimacy and closeness, not the thing that creates it. You cannot create intimacy and closeness through those things. You mimic the idea of it. These are things that we do because we experience intimacy and closeness, not things that we do to experience intimacy and closeness. But now I'm just getting into all types of topics. So I'll come back.